Hi guys, it's Just Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free book review of These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, and this will be followed by a spoilery gush and discussion comparing These Hollow Vows to ACOTAR. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my channel, the formatting of this is going to be plot, characters, writing style and pacing, world building, and magic system, followed by a spoiler warning, a spoilery discussion, and then I'm going to compare and contrast These Hollow Vows to ACOTAR. There are a lot of similarities, and I just want to talk to you guys about them. Also, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram. It is linked down in the description below. I am in the process of moving and setting up this office, so the background's probably going to be changing, and I am documenting a lot of that on my Instagram and my stories, so please check my Instagram out. With that being said, let's get into this review. All right, jumping into the plot. So the plot of this story follows Bree, and she's a girl that's very down on her luck. She has to be a thief in order to survive. Her and her sister are pretty much contracted to this terrible woman who treats them very poorly, and they're trying to pay off their debt, and it's just a very hard life. Now, there are some people that pay off their debt by selling themselves to the Fae, and Bree is just not a fan of the Fae. She doesn't think you can trust them. Her sister is more open to them. She's like, oh, so there's the Seelie Court and the Unseelie Court. The Unseelie Court is obviously like the Shadow Court, the more evil court. Then there's the Seelie Court where some humans end up going and living out happy lives, or so they say. So, like I said, Bree is super against the Fae until her sister is sold to the king of the Unseelie Court. So, Bree has to go and get her, and in doing so, she ends up meeting the prince of the Seelie Court and finds out that he's not as bad as he seemed. She also meets a gang of misfits from the Unseelie Court and forms a relationship with them and is very close to their leader. So the story goes from there, and it's really just Bree trying to navigate the fairy realm and save her sister. I loved this book so much. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend. I thought the plot was very engaging, very gripping, and it starts out so good. So I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if you've already read this or you don't mind being spoiled, I will go much deeper into the plot in my gush. However, definitely enjoyed it. Very good, very reminiscent of ACOTAR, and also has that Cruel Prince vibe because you have the sneaky and the suspicious fairies that like to trick people. Very, very good. Highly recommend. All right, moving on to characters. I can't go too into this because of spoilers, but you obviously have Bree. I think she is a great main character to follow. She is very strong. She loves her sister and will do everything for her sister and her family, and is just very, I don't know. She was very enjoyable to follow, and I feel like she didn't make a lot of questionable decisions. I feel like a lot of times with young adult novels, sometimes the protagonist, you're just like, what are you doing? And I didn't find myself feeling that way very much when I was following her. So I did enjoy her. The prince of the Unseelie, or of the Seelie Court, I did enjoy following. I thought he was pretty fleshed out. I like what they ended up doing with his character. Overall, I like the whole story dynamic that goes along with him. Once again, very sorry, I can't tell you guys because of spoilers, but I thought it was very well done. Also, the band of misfits, I also really enjoyed from the Unseelie Court. I feel like all of them were very fleshed out and described very well, all had very unique personalities, and it was just very well done. So overall, I loved the characters. I thought they were all very well developed, and yeah, definitely enjoyed the character work. I think the author did a fantastic job. Real quick, this is editing Jess. I just was editing this footage and I realized that I completely did not discuss the love triangle involved. So I am not going to go into a lot of detail just because, once again, spoilers, but the author herself, I think, even says it. It might be on the back. There is a love triangle in this. It is done so well. I love when there is a love triangle, and I love both characters. So typically, I feel like with love triangles, you're really always rooting for one. In this, it's very hard to pick between the two guys, and I thought it was done so well. Very rare I find a good love triangle. So keep that in mind with characters. If you're someone who's not a fan of love triangles, you might want to avoid this, but overall, really enjoyed it. Moving on to world building and magic system. So this is where I start to have a few issues with the book. I thought overall the setting was very well done. I really like how they had the Fae worlds with more of the happy springtime Fae, and then you have like the darker Unseelie court. I like how that was done. I feel like some of the plot devices and everything was very convenient. So there is this character that pretty much every time our main character wants an answer to some question, he just pops up and explains something. So I would have preferred if the book was a little bit longer and we had the main character, slowly discovering some of these things instead of being like, oh, I wonder what this could be. Character, appear and tell me. Like, it was very convenient. And I wish there was a little bit more done there. I wish we could have had the main character exploring things and figuring out things for herself instead of having this character just appear and tell her what exactly is going on. So I didn't love that. However, overall, I really like the magic. It's very cool how, I don't think this is a spoiler, I think this is said pretty early in the book, but some Fae, their magic is tied to their life. So you can't use magic constantly. I like that there is limits to magic. I like when there's limitations that are set. I think it makes it more realistic. So overall, I really enjoyed the magic system. I thought it was very cool, and I like the world building. Overall, I just feel like sometimes it was a little convenient the way the author went about explaining things. And speaking of the author, now I'm gonna get into writing style and pacing. First of all, pacing was done so well. This book hooks you within the first chapter. It starts off with the main character kind of sneaking around, and she's definitely up to something. And I was engaged right off the bat. I thought that was done very well. The writing style I thought was very nice. It's not super flowery, but it was very enjoyable. It was very accessible. It was very easy to get through, and I enjoyed it. I don't think I've read anything else by Lexi Ryan, and I don't know if this is a debut. I will definitely be picking more up from her. I really enjoyed the story. Also, I listened to part of this, so I listened to the first half, and then I finished the rest physically on audio, and the narrator for the audiobook does such a good job. Her characters are awesome, so I highly suggest listening to this on Audible or wherever you can get audiobooks. Overall, I thought writing style and pacing were very well done. So overall thoughts before I get into the spoiler section, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was engaging. I thought it was gripping. I love the main character. The slow burn romance was so good, and the love triangle was awesome. It was just done so well. So highly suggest if you're a fan of YA fantasy and you like a slow burn romance, once again, fan of ACOTAR, you're gonna love this. Definitely check it out. All right, spoiler warning. We are about to get into spoilers. If you have not read the book or don't want to be spoiled, please stop watching now. All right, so I need to talk about the end of this book with someone. So how I interpreted it was that Sebastian actually kind of planted himself with Bree in order for them to kind of form a relationship so she would eventually marry him, and has been plotting this entire time. If that's true, that's crazy. Were those feelings actually real, or was he really just trying to marry her and take her power, take the crown the entire time? Because I just find that is absolutely mind-blowing, and I love it because it's crazy. And then I really thought it was actually going to end with her running away with Finn, or somehow Finn saving her in order to save her. They had to bond or something along those lines. And the fact that she ended up marrying Sebastian is just, that's really funny. I don't know. I was not expecting that. I really enjoyed this book. I think there are a lot of tropes, and there's some very obvious things that you can tell are gonna happen, but overall, I still thought it was super enjoyable. Now, I saw a few reviewers say that this isn't similar to ACOTAR. Let me talk about that with you guys. So, first of all, this girl ends up going to the fairies in order to save the people she loves. So, very similar to ACOTAR. Farah ends up, I'm sorry, this is really gonna be for people that have read ACOTAR. If you haven't read it, just skip. I'll leave a timestamp. But Farah ends up going with Tamlin in the very beginning because she killed a wolf, and I think Tamlin actually threatens her sisters, and she's like, I'll go with you. And similar thing, so Bree goes to save her sister from the Unseelie court. Then she has to procure these 3 items, similar to Farah having to do 3 trials in order to save the one she loves. A little bit of a stretch, but very minor. So that all happens. So then she's going through that. Bree is finding things. Also, obvious reference to, we have Tamlin, who is, I would say, Sebastian in this, who is the ruler of the spring court that she used to be scared of, but now she's falling in love with, although we see a little bit that he might have a slight anger issue. And then we have Finn, who is just the ruler, not the ruler, maybe the ruler of the Unseelie court, and who's really a good guy, even though everyone's scared of him. And yes, he might be killing tributes and stuff like that, but like that's a different thing. Gives me a lot of Rhysand vibes. So she's training with them. Also, Finn is part of this like group of people that remind me so much of the Inner Circle. So you also have that. So all of this is going on. Then at the end, or towards the end of the book, when Bree actually finds all 3 items, she has to watch 2 people be sacrificed. So I know this isn't the same as Farah having to kill the people, but it gave me such Farah, Amarantha Under the Mountain vibes. Come on, guys. Also, Bree and Finn aren't bonded, but they keep showing up in each other's dreams and stuff, kind of like the mating thing. There are so many similarities to this book. Oh, and how does it end? With the main character becoming Fae. So it is very similar to ACOTAR. I do not think this is in any way like plagiarized ACOTAR. I'm not saying I just like the book because it's like ACOTAR. I love ACOTAR, so hence I very much enjoyed this book because of all the similarities. But I just think that it's crazy to say that they're not similar because there are so many similarities besides the fact that there's Fae and a love triangle, whatever. So overall, I highly enjoyed this book. I thought it was really great. Please let me know down in the comments below if you guys have read it and what you thought about it. I could talk about this book all day and I haven't seen a lot of people posting about it. So let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching my book review of These Hollow Vows. Let me know in the comments down below, do you guys like these singular reviews? They tend not to do great, and then slowly they gain popularity on my channel. I don't know if that's just my channel or what, but I do really enjoy doing them, and yeah, if you read this book, let me know. So I already said this once, but I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye.